Today I'll be showing you the complete Bicoastal Adventures pin series. This was a monthly pin series in 2024, and these were available at Disneyland and Walt Disney World for $19.99 each, and these are a limited edition of 4,000. So this is a 12-pin collection, and the pin designs feature a park attraction that exists on both coasts, so Disneyland and Walt Disney World. There's a slider element in the center of the pin where when you slide it one direction, you get to see the Disneyland version of the attraction, and then you slide it the other way and you get to see the Walt Disney World version. All of them work that way except for one because they made a little mistake in the design. We'll talk about that when we get to that one. So let's get right to it and take a look at the pins. So the first pin in the series for January 2024 was Space Mountain. First, let's take a look at the backer card. This backer card is the same on all 12 pins. It says Disney Bicoastal Adventures. We have the Disneyland logo and the Walt Disney World logo right up in the corner. And then the card is split, and we have the two different castles right there. It says limited edition, and on the back, we can see that it's $19.99, and you have the pin number down at the bottom. So the first pin is Space Mountain, and all of the pins have the same frame. So we have the green frame with the Mickey ears in the middle, and the blue flag is the Disneyland flag, and the red flag is the Walt Disney World flag. So this is the Disneyland side, and this is the Disney World side. So the middle section here says, I conquered Space Mountain, Tomorrowland. And we can see the Disneyland attraction here, which says Space Station 77. And if we slide Chippendale here over, we see the Disney World side, which is Starport 75. So those are the years that Space Mountain opened up in the parks. But yeah, so the slider element is a slider element and a pin on pin. So you can see the side here. We have a pin, and then we have a gap, and then another pin. You have the slider element, and then the Chippendale part are bumped up right there. So really cool design. And in the back, I'll show you this one. They're all the same. I flipped them all over and looked at all of them, and all of them have the same pattern. The only difference is some of them, like the It's a Small World one, will say It's a Small World right there. But limited edition, 4,000. Very cool design. So you can choose if you want to keep your pins showing the Disney World side or the Disneyland side. So the pin for February is Soarin, and we have the exact same frame, and it says we are cleared for takeoff, Soarin. And we have Captain Mickey here. So then on the Disneyland side, we have the Grizzly Peak area there. And then we slide this over, and then you can see the building that it's in at Walt Disney World. The third pin in the series is the Haunted Mansion, and it says, Welcome Foolish Mortals, with some of the wallpaper there on the slider element, and we have the hitchhiking ghosts. I thought maybe they would glow in the dark, but they don't. None of these pins glow in the dark. And for the Disneyland side, we see the Disneyland Mansion. And if we slide it over to the Disney World side, we see their version of the mansion, the taller brick building. So the fourth pin is Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, and the slider element says that, Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, and we have a bird right there. And we have the same frame, and then we have the Disneyland side and the Disney World side. But this is the one where they got them backwards. This is actually the Tiki Room in Disneyland, and this one with the tall tower, that's actually Disney World. So they got those two designs swapped. So they don't match the flags up above. So next is the Astro Orbiter. So we have Goofy here dressed as an astronaut, and it says out to launch, Astro Orbiter. And we see the Disneyland Astro Orbiter right there. And we move this over, and you can see the Disney World, kind of, Disney World one. Goofy's kind of taking up a lot of room. Next is the Railroad, and it says, take a ride, all aboard. And we have the conductor Mickey here in a train engine. And we see the Disneyland train station there. You got the Mickey Mouse floral thing that's right at the entrance, and then we have the Magic Kingdom one here, and then you can also see the design back there too. But Mickey is covering quite a bit of that. Next is It's a Small World. So we have the design here with all the numbers. You got the little clock face there, and we have a hot air balloon with some of the Small World kids inside it. And we can see the Small World facade at Disneyland. You can see that it's outside with the blue sky, and then you slide it over, and then you have the Disney World facade, and you can tell that it's inside. And then the back of this one, like I said earlier, same back design and style, it just says It's a Small World right there. So now we have the teacups. So we have the Mad Hatter here on the slider, and it says Mad Hatter Teacups. And we see the Disneyland teacups right there. And then we slide this over, and then we have the Disney World teacups. Now we're all the way out to the September release, which is Dumbo. And we have Timothy Mouse right here, and it says Happiest Flight on Earth. And we see the clouds and Dumbo back there. We have the Dumbo ride here on the Disneyland side. And then you slide it over, and then you have the Disney World version. So for October, we have Winnie the Pooh. And this one says Think, Think, Think with Winnie the Pooh and his honey pot right there. And we've got the ride vehicle for Disneyland, and then some ride vehicles for Walt Disney World. So now we have the Buzz Lightyear ride, and it has the Space Rangers logo. It says Galactic Hero, and it has the number down here, which I think is the maximum amount of points you can get. And we have Buzz Lightyear on the slider. So the Disneyland side, it's Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters. And then Disney World, it's Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. And the last one in this collection is the Pirates of the Caribbean. I was waiting for this one all year, and it took all the way to December to get it. So the slider element says, Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me. And we have Mickey Mouse dressed up in a pirate outfit right here. And then the Disneyland side has the two skeleton pirates playing chess. And then the Disney World side has the guy with the big thing of rum. And we have the parrot up there. So that was the complete Bicoastal Adventures pin series. Let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite and if you've completed this pin set too. I have all of them here on one of these 8x8 pin boards that I use all the time in my background. I think these work great for these monthly pin collections. This one was a little bit tight since the character sticks off the side of the slider, but I think it works really good. So I do have a link for this and some other things I use in the background down in the description in case you want to take a look. So I do have two small little complaints about the pin designs here, and number one is that they only have one pin post. So when you have a slider element, usually you can just slide it, but these ones, some of them work and some of them stick, like that one, and then you end up moving the pin. So I wish they had two pin posts so you can just grab the slider and slide it one way or the other without it turning, and then you have to readjust, almost like pictures on a wall. You have to readjust them all. And then the other small complaint is that if you're a fan of the Disney World side of these, the character that's on the slider, since they're off to the right side of the slider, when you move them over, the character covers a little bit of the Disney World attraction side. Some of them don't do it too bad, but others, like the Goofy one, Goofy is covering probably 30 to 35% of that image, and then the train one's pretty bad too. So I just think that maybe they could have done something a little different there, but if they put the character in the center, then they wouldn't have been able to do all the words on the slider. So it was kind of probably a tough choice there. So they went with what they did. I think they look really good, but yeah, some of the Disney World side gets a little bit covered. But I think these pins are great, and I am glad I completed the collection. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.